Go.
Hello and welcome to today's video podcast brought to you by the Match newspaper. Today we'll be discussing all football in the local area, and I'd just like to introduce you to our team. Will Hooker, our Preston North End correspondent on the far side, Luca Persico, our Chorley correspondent in the middle, and Gary Clark, our Bamber Bridge correspondent on the right. So firstly, we'll just start the discussion with Preston's 2 undefeated Tranmere on Tuesday night. Will, how much of an impact do you think this will have on the team and the whole mentality?
I think it'll be particularly disappointing because the team had sort of, they weren't producing exciting performances, but at the very least they were resolute at the back. They put together, some pretty strong defensive performances, albeit against teams who many would perceive to be weaker teams in the division, like your Chesterfields, your Walsalls, your Scunthorpes, all the teams who were down there fighting. But at the very least, they've kept clean sheets against them. Obviously, as we saw when they went to Colchester, they're letting in goals on the road, it would seem. So I think that will be a real concern, because if you're not scoring goals, the only way you're going to get points is with a 0-0 draw. So if you're not scoring goals and you conceded, then you're obviously going to lose.
Do you think they have a chance of 3 points away at Exeter on Saturday?
They've definitely got a chance, but I think they're going to face a similar sort of test. Tranmere are down there fighting, Exeter in the relegation zone, and they're going to be scrapping for their lives. I think that Preston are going to have to go there and hope that, as bizarre as it may sound, at the start of the season, if we'd have said Preston are going to have to go to Exeter and hope that Exeter have an off day, but if Exeter perform to their potential with the way that Preston have performed in recent weeks, I would not be surprised at all to see an Exeter win.
There are also rumours of possibly Graham Wesley getting the boot. What do you make of this?
Personally, I think from the interaction that I've had with him, like at the press conferences, I've been very impressed by him. I would tend to, his whole viewpoint and philosophy has been, you've got to make sure that a team's hard to beat first and foremost, and that's at the end of the day a viewpoint that I agree with. If you've got a team who's leaking goals and you're trying to work on various other aspects of the team, you can get through. You can work on. It's going to take time to work on the attacking fluency, and you can at least buy yourself a bit of time with picking up, however boring it may be, 0-0 draws. Just keep the points ticking over. Whereas before, obviously, Preston were conceding a lot of goals, and just getting points at all was virtually impossible because of the number of goals they were conceding. If he was to get the boot, I think it would be incredibly harsh. I think he's trying to turn around a team which, by and large, he has brought in a fair number of players, but by and large, the squad is not one that he's chosen. He's working with somebody else's team, and I think if he was to be given the sack now, I think it would be very premature.
And do you think the unthinkable could actually happen, where relegation could be a serious matter?
Well, I think anyone would be foolish to rule it out. I think that, you look at the table now, Preston are 8 points clear of relegation at the moment, but obviously with the fixture on Saturday away at Exeter, if Exeter were to win that, they're the team just below the waterline, and if Exeter win, then the gap's cut to 5 points, and all of a sudden, you're looking at potentially just a 2-game cushion, aren't you? Like if the gap is 5 points, and I think it will be very, very concerning. And obviously, as with football at any level, the longer it goes on without a win, the more the pressure is, and the more important a win becomes in the next match.
Thanks, Will. Now we'll move on to another talking point. This week, is Chorley's victory in the Lancashire FA Trophy against Kendal. Luke was there. How did you find the whole experience?
I thought it was good. I thought Chorley took 2,000 fans. I think it showed how much it meant to the club. It was not won the trophy since 1983, and I think they wanted it more in the end of the day. They went a goal down, a bit against them when they're playing. Maybe in the first half were a little bit open defensively, but as soon as they got the equaliser in the second half, they took control of the game. And once they took the lead, it was quite a stroll towards the finish.
And do you think this victory can spur them on to promotion this season?
Well, I think so. They're not going to get the automatic spot. I think Chester have got that sewn up, but they're definitely going to be in the playoffs, I'd say. I think they made a couple of signings, one this week, one last week, and I think they're just getting a stronger squad. I think, certainly compared to the teams around them, I think they've got a bit more.
Thanks, Luca. And now we'll finish by talking about Bamber Bridge. Obviously, financial troubles are plaguing the club at the moment, and Gareth, they've been out without a victory for quite some time now.
Yeah, it's 8 games without a win now. Obviously, at the weekend they got beat 6-0 by Witton Albion. 2 penalties saved by goalkeeper Lee Dovey, who's arguably been their player of the season so far. Could have been a lot worse. And then on Monday night they were beat by Curzon Ashton 3-1 away there. So with the young team that they have, they actually put up a really good performance despite getting beat 3-1. But as you say, the financial trouble, he can't afford to be having these signing these sorts of players. At the moment the players are playing for free. They get a bit of petrol money here and there every now and again, but Neil Crow and his staff aren't being paid. But the latest signing, Michael Clark, the lad who plays centre mid, he's really impressed in his 2 games so far. So he looks like he could be their only saving grace of the season.
Thanks, Gary. So that was our first vodcast, shall I say, for the Match newspaper. You can follow us on Twitter at the Match Clan, and also tweet in hashtag the Match Clan as well. So thanks for joining us, and join us again next week for another podcast. See you then.
Stay